this interactive video, I will explain how to extend the existing organizational structure in SAP Central Business Configuration. So create a new company code and then create a plant in a company code and assign it to a purchasing organization, create a storage location in a new created plant, create a new shipping point, and assign the new shipping point to the new plant. So let's start. So the first things is to access to the CBC. So for that, we use the application manage your solution like this. Then click on SAP Central Business Configuration. Okay, I enter my email. Then I click on organizational structures. I click on edit. I select change the status of the current configuration activities back to open. I click on edit. Then I prefer to work with the table view. And then I click on create. First, I select company code. Okay, I enter the ID, for example, 1000, and the name, for example, PDS. PDS is 1100 like this, and I enter the name, for example, PDS SAS, and the city, for example, Marseille, and I choose the country, the France. Select company. By default, I create a new company one, known, and I create a new company, and this company is 1100 PDS and SAS, like this for France, and I click on create. Okay, organization unit PDS SAS created. So, and then, as you can see, select company is linked to my company code. I click on create. Organization unit PDS SAS created. So if I change the view, for example, hierarchical chart view, okay? I am in a company code, as you can see, choose one more to display all plans that are assigned to company code. If you have more company code, but it's not our case. So we just have to click on create plant. And let's start again. In the ID field, we enter the plant ID of your choice, here 1110, to confirm your entry, and on your keyboard, press enter. So let's start. Again, 1100, PDS name, PDS Just looking for what the name I selected for this plant. Just wait. Consult my Excel file with all the information about this plant. Yes. Just PDS, city Marseille in France, and country region France. Okay, I click on create. The next step, as you can see, all the relation that you have, plan to organization, plan to sales organization and distribution channel, plan to shipping point, plan to shipping point for return, plan to shipping point. So keep in mind, you always keep a logic about company, plant, and storage location. So if I want to create the first one, for example, I continue, for example, 1100, or I can create, for example, on one, can continue like this, okay? But if you have made, for example, a mistake, you are able to cancel because you don't have confirm at any times. So you are able to remove it and retry. So company code, plant, and we can create a storage location in this case. So storage location, as you can see, we have different. So if I select warehouse, if you use WM, standard storage for or raw material, for example, for finished goods, for raw material. For example, I select the new one, and I just have to enter PDS raw material and city Marseille. And I click on create. If I want another another plant for the same storage for the same plant, no. If I want to create a new plant for the same company code, as you can see, I just have to click on. I click on company code, and I can create a new plant. So I do it. By the port, we create plant 10 per 10 number. So 1110. So I create another one just like this. Marseille also, and I click on create. Okay, I create a new storage location. I continued all the first time, first one, and I enter the information about the storage location. So for example, the new one, 111, raw material, Marseille, and I complete with, for example, raw material. And I click on create. If I want to create a second storage location. I proceed 1111. And there's a name, for example, trans can and say, and for example, is I enter the information. We have different handling unit managed, no, tank trailer filling for, third party WS return, storage location, third party WS, yes. So the third party is managed for the company. I click on create. I can create another again, for example, and we tried to each time a new one, I continue. And for example, the new one is for example, for example, yes, you, I don't know, just wait a minute, niggle like this, and the city is X, and the third party again, I click on create. I create a new storage location and so on. So I click and continue 1111113 and the city as for example C and no sorry the ID is SE then like sign. Okay, and this time is I can select that is warehouse. So, and then I will activate that is will be, for example, managed with WM, third party WS, third demand produce. Okay, so I click on create. So I defined, and then you can see I manage a WM warehouse to cloud warehouse. And I will be create a WM warehouse that I will create later. So it's good. I create the different information, but the most important that I go back, for example, in the plant. In the plant, I can assign plant to purchase organization, to sales organization, to plant, but before I need to create purchase organization, sales organization. So I go back on my company code. In my company code, you see that I can create a sales organization. That is very simple. So I create a sales organization for that. So I check the information. Sales organization is 1-1. Respect always the same logic of ID. So 1100. What is the name of my sales organization? PDS. Marseille. And edit in scope because I want to display the information in the both languages that I manage in my system, in the French and in English, to be sure that I see all the information. I click on OK. Then I create my new sales organization. Organization unit PDS created. OK. Then I assign my plan to my sales organization, but I need to create a sales area. For that, before to assign, I create sales area. I click on sales area. And then I check two things, that I've got a previous distribution channel and a division. So let's start. So I continue PDS and I select distribution channel. market per technique, pay online, per bank, pay on site, and I've got network, direct sales. For example, I create direct sales, or I can select a new one. For example, if I want to create a new sales organization or new sales distribution channel. So for that, I select, for example, market pay tech and the distribution channel. I check also, I select my distribution channel and the division. So I look for, okay, and I create a sales area, sales organization, plus distribution channel, plus plant. That is a sales area. Okay, I've got my sales organization. I've got my sales area. Then I just have to follow the relation. Sales area to plant. Okay. I click on create assignment. I select my plant. I've got PDS. I select the both plant. So for example, if I just want only one plant for my sales organization, I select one. But I select like this. Okay, 1, 1. If I have a look, I have the first plant, 1, 1, 1, 1, with all my storage location. And I've got my first sales organization, 1, 1. So in the one sales organization, I'm able to assign 2 plant. I click create. I select the first one. I select the second one. Then I can also create a sales office. Okay, 3 you need to confirm. Okay, I confirm. Okay, I confirm. My workspace is currently locked because the system is confirming the organizational structures. Then I create my file source area. I just have to waiting the confirmation progress. Perhaps it's take a long time. So I can show you. So I create the first one with 2 plants with storage location. And I can select, for example, to display only per country region. I can, okay, I wait that the confirmation progress is 100%. Okay, it's good. I show you different. So I create, but I create a new sales organization. I create the sales organization you can see like this, full screen. So I create the company code, the first plant. I create the first sales organization 11100. If I expand but inside this company code 1100, I've got the first plant. I've got this sales organization. I can create another sales organization in the same system. I have signed right now two plant, one. Then I can create also a sales office. If I go back in company code, I check. Okay, I go inside right now the plant to check again the information 11. When I check, I can right now plan to purchasing organization, plan to sales organization. I see plan to sales organization and plans 11. I assign 11. Okay, like this, I save. Okay, right now, plan to purchasing organization. Before to create the assignment, I check that I've got a purchasing organization. For that, I click on create and I check if I see, if I seen my purchasing organization. I click purchasing organization and I create a new organization, 1100 PDS, and I assign this is not mandatory because the plant is assigned. So, and it's not mandatory to assign a purchase organization directly to a sales company code. So I click on create. Define your default company code. So I click on assign and PDS, save. So you can remove it. And in this time, if you are not able to click on save, that means you are okay. I create my purchasing organization. I check. Okay. Right now, I go back to, for example, full screen on my plant. For example, my plant 111. I assign my plane to my purchasing organization like this. My plant to sales organization and distribution channel like this. Market, yeah. Then shipping point, okay. I need for that to create a shipping point. Okay. I select the order plant. I proceed. Okay, I want to assign to the same purchasing organization. Okay, I want to do it. Okay, that is always the case. Right now, I do it. I create a shipping point. So I need to create 3 shipping point: consignment, return, and normal. So I can always respect the same philosophy. 1100 for the first one is I can take, for example, standard. So I define PDS STD for standard, Marseille, and I choose my country is for France. I create. And if I remember, I create all the time one by one. So I create shipping point, second one, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1 for customer consignment. Okay. So it's PDS customer consignment. Marseille, and is for France. Create. And I create the last one, 1102 for return. So I name PDS returned and city Marseille and select the country France. Create. So I go back in the plant 110. Plan to shipping point. I click on create and assign. Why doesn't say 11? Why? Yeah, for consignment. Yes, it's true. For this, good. And I select the plan for shipping and return. I will display the PDS return, and I go to plan to shipping point, and I select standard. Okay. So if confirm organization, okay, I see that the system explain me if I confirm I am not able right now to remove. So my storage location is good. I go back to show you it's a different screen to proceed. So for my plant 110, I think everything is good. And if I check for this one, I check that all the relation has been defined. Okay. And if I want to use, for example, for the plant another 11, so 1101, okay, create, yes, create, like this. Uh, okay, so I've got purchasing organization, company, plant, distribution channel, shipping point. So for that, I just have to click on confirm right now for all the organizational unit name. I click on confirm. And when everything is good, I'm able to, after confirm, to deploy my new uh, organization structures, and then I will be able to finish by the configuration. So before, I just have to wait. Confirmation progress. But it's the same things if you want to create a sales office. Everything is confirmed. So when you have fully completely finished, you click on complete activity. Okay, by completing, you confirm you acknowledge that the definition of your may have an impact. Okay. all confirm organization unit are consistent. And right now, I'm able to click on deploy. Keep in mind, when you have clicked on confirm, all the information are confirmed. That means you are not able to delete anything. Confirm, égal, equaled, impossible to go back. Okay? Deploy. PDS ready to deploy. Deploy. Confirm. So the workspace is located to an ongoing deployment. So you just have to wait that is 100%. Okay. So you can see the deployment target. And in the deployment target, you will see that the information about the deployment. Okay. See you later.